It's time for ignition and straight up automobile pimping.
Dude, where's my car?
Dudes and dudettes, welcome back to another session of the Dude, Where's My Car podcast. I'm your host, Tom, doing a quick intro from my hotel within Greece, having a blast, guys. Let's get stuck into part two with Brendan and Timothy. Best is always last, guys. Let's get in.
Why we got quiet?
Because you were about to say something.
No, I wasn't.
Talking about Hunter Valley, about Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we went up to Hunter Valley
Bro, it was
for my brother's
whole
birthday?
century up. It was
No.
whole central up there.
But do you remember what I did to my Lancer?
I do remember what you did to the Lancer, and I remember the stupid shit we did there. We lost that bond 110%.
Oh, no, they got the bond back.
Oh, they got the bond back.
Alright, so it's my brother's birthday. We got forced to go.
This sounds like a skid
I
story.
had a fun time, bro.
He had a fun time. I fell off a bike. I'm all like bleeding, scratched up. Normal stuff, right?
Like they had these little dirt bikes.
I had the helmet on. Safety first, boys, right?
Always.
It's private property.
Private property, Airbnb. Wait, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I thought I'm like stuffed up.
It was your family's Airbnb private
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so all the boys, they're on their utes, on their bikes. He was in the back of, he was in the back seat of a ute, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I also drove your Lancer as well.
Yeah, you drove my Lancer.
Yeah.
I got left behind. I got a brand new Lancer. I'm like, what should I do? Turn off traction. I'm sending it on the grass. I'm sending it on the dirt. I actually have video that will be popping up there, hopefully. This plate's covered.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We essentially took the Lancer off-roading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of skids in the dirt. It was fun.
Rally racing, easy.
And to be fair, there's a lot of rally Evos out there, Lancers, who are,
but-
that's what they do.
See, we were different 'cause we were front wheel drives. So you would see us doing a front wheel burnout on the grass. It was such a cracker time. Drove home with no aircon.
Yeah.
That aircon used to be pumping on the way up, coming down.
See you later.
See you later.
So, yeah,
It was still like the Airbnb.
You had a white car. By the end of it, bro, it was just brown.
Brown.
That's it. Just brown.
Bro, some people pay $2,000 for a wrap like that, all right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, bro. It's meant to look like a nugget.
Yeah.
Oh, but bro, Tim, I want to hear a little bit more about you, bro. Like, I want to understand this 180 and like what you want to do in the future, like what's actually coming up for both of you, for that matter. But like, you're young, you've gone through some cars. There's a lot of Nissans in there. What's the deal? Like, where are you gonna go?
Look, I got a couple plans. Before we get to the plans, I kind of have to explain what's led me up to those plans. That's the thing, you know. I guess it goes back to that 180 when I got it running and working and everything, and I did some stuff I shouldn't have done through lockdown when COVID happened.
I
It
feel you.
wasn't lockdown.
No, it
Right,
wasn't
boys?
lockdown. No.
Oh, bro, I had a guilty-free pass. I won't lie. So I was building a ute at that time when that was happening. My mum was really unwell, so I used to have to go drive. I lived in the eastern suburbs in Woollahra, so like Double Bay, and my mum lived all the way in Avalon. But I had a little free pass because when you helped anyone else that was sick, you're allowed to travel anywhere you want. That's why COVID was dumb.
Yeah.
So dumbest fucking thing ever. Also, if you were a director of a business, you could write your own papers and be like, I have to go here to go to work. It's fucking stupid. Anyway, I was traveling back and forth on the roads. No one on the roads. And I'm in this fucking black Commodore SS thing that is suited up. I'm driving straight all the way from Woollahra to Avalon. And it's just all the way down. I had cops continuously following me, waiting. They would just drive behind me and just wait. Just to see like what I would do, where I go, try to pull me up for something. Nothing.
I was like the same. My very first job was at Kmart warehouse.
Yeah.
Okay. This is during lockdown, so no one's allowed in the store. So the only people that were in the store was the warehouse team, and that was me and the boys. Shout out to the boys.
Yeah.
They all had goals. We had my best mate, he was team leader. He had the chimney. I had my blue Lancer. I didn't tell you guys about the blue Lancer.
No.
So I sold the white Lancer for a deposit for a house.
Yeah. Good idea.
and brought. I went on holiday to Queensland.
Okay, even better.
Came back, got a $3,000 Lancer manual BRX. I loved it. It's way better than the brand new one. And we will pump it after work. There's no one on the road.
No, there was no one. There was no
Not
one.
even cops. Like, we couldn't see any cops. So we're like safely changing lanes constantly.
Because you had your indicator on.
Yeah, we had our indicator on at all times. Safety first, guys. Come on.
You had the hazards on. It's like
No hazards. Come on, we were stopped.
Proper
Come on,
indicators,
bro.
man. Come on.
And then one of the boys got pulled over. So it was a burst because it was like 12 o'clock at night. He had to call up his boss and be like, hey, can you explain to this cop why we were out so late? Because we got pulled over like 1 or 2 cars, right? The cop's like, nah, I don't believe you. Call your boss right now. Boss is like, yeah, buddy. Who are you? The guy's like, I'm officer, whatever, right? He's like, what you want? I'm sleeping. I'm cracking out because my mate's telling me this. He's like, the boss is like, yeah, he works for me. Kmart, you buy. Come by. He hangs up. The cop was speechless, so they let him go. Next day, the boss is like, here's a letter. Each person. Every time we got pulled over, here's a letter. I lost my letter. I actually lost it. So I was driving without one. Found out my brother took it.
Oh, to get away with his own bullshit.
So he'll be gone like late nights and he'll get pulled over and he'll show the Kmart fucking letter. It'll say my name and everything. But yeah, he was too sure he got away with it. It was the funniest thing.
Oh, fuck. I stole your thunder, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was during lockdown.
The 180, right? So I'll just explain right from the beginning. I got the car home after, my brother driving it, got the car home, worked on it for a while. The thing was flooded in the trunk. We didn't check the trunk. We popped open the trunk the next day, and keep in mind, the trunk latch was broken.
So you can't open it.
We couldn't open it.
Crowbar.
No. My dad, he found out this weird, sketchy way, being the wog he is. He found out this weird, sketchy way. I don't know how he did it. It was funny because the bonnet latch was broken.
Yeah.
Right, so that was number one. And then the trunk latch was broken. Right, so both ways you couldn't open. He found a way regardless, and we popped it open, and it's just water. I had the privacy shelf in there, so we couldn't actually look into the trunk when it was closed. But we opened it, and it was just water, and it was dark brown water. There were insects floating in it. At the time, we had no idea that there was a drain plug. So we're sitting there with microfiber cloths, dipping them in, squeeze next to it. Dipping it in, squeeze next to it.
Filming a chamois commercial. Just
We probably did that for about Costco towels, number one. Anyway, we probably did that for about 40 minutes, draining out all the water, and at the bottom we realized there was a drain plug.
Yeah.
So we could have just dipped our hand. That's it. Anyway, we did all that. We found out there was rust in the trunk. Just normal JDM stuff. I spent the next couple of days taking off the whole kit. My initial plan was to take off the kit, revert it back to a normal 180. In that process, I found out that to take off the front bumper, you have to take off the fenders because they come off as one massive piece. It looks like they're separated, which they can be after, but you have to take off the bumper and the fenders together. Right? To actually get them. So the whole front end's got to come off. But to take off the front fenders, you got to take off the side skirts, which are sicker flexed on.
Yep.
So there's a whole process to that whole thing. So we got to take off the side skirts, then the fenders, and then the bumper all at the same time. And I've got pictures of them like pulled apart in my shed in the back, and we pulled it all apart. And then I realized the quarter panels, they ended up chopping them up. And I had minimal knowledge. I couldn't fix it at the time. There was no way I couldn't revert this thing back to stock. They've chopped it up. They've bonded on these fenders. It's no longer original. I can't fix it. In that moment, there was also a bloke who got in contact with me from the Netherlands. His name online is Bopane Boki.
Shout outs.
Yeah. Keep in mind, he's quite young, but he's very knowledgeable. He has a whole archive of old JDM, like that whole sort of sex spec era and before, like 80s, 90s, 2000s. He's got magazines upon magazines upon magazines, which he collects.
Yeah, he does.
Ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
And he got in contact with me from someone else that knew me, asked me if I own this car. I said, yeah. Keep in mind, this kid's like 14 years old in the Netherlands.
Respect.
He sends me a bunch of pictures of my car, like a whole folder. One of the pictures of the folder was of it in a magazine, and the other pictures were of it in Japan. Keep in mind, at this point, I had no idea what I had except for this car was in Japan. I don't know if some dudes did a dodgy backyard thing to it, or what happened.
It was miraculous that was close to you anyway in the first place.
I mean, 20 minutes away. Like, come on. Turns out this thing has been in about 5 different magazines, as far as I can tell. A couple in Australia, a couple in Japan. I actually have an option mag at home. Option magazine. Yeah. I have one sitting at home with my car in it. It has a whole 2-page feature in it. It was in a 2005 copy of it. What? So that kind of shocked me. There was actually a bloke up in Brisbane who sent that out to me. He's like, your car's in this. I'm going to give it to you for free. I'm like, bro, I'm happy to pay. He goes, no. Just make sure it stays with the car. And I was shocked by it. I didn't think my car would be an option magazine. Anyway, after all of that, we're fixing the car up, and then I said, it's too much. Like, I'm beginner level stuff. So I asked, because his brother has plenty of connections, I asked him, do you have anyone that could fix this up for me? Do some work. He said, yeah, he took it to a shop, spent a couple grand, headaches after headaches after headaches, and they did a bit of a dodgy job. And then in the end, I kind of just learned I had to do everything myself. It's a lot cheaper, plus it's a learning experience, plus it's, it's experience for the future. It's knowledgeable. Yeah. But that car came back to me with like wires that were spliced up incorrectly. There was
what?
The one day after I picked up the car, the side skirts were cracking again because they're fiberglass. And what happens is when you close the door, the side skirts close on. Sorry, the door closes onto the side skirts. That was cracking already. One day into it, the hood was cracked.
The rear bumper, it pulled out.
Oh, okay. No, that was kind of our mess up.
Yeah, it was our mess. Mostly me. I'll take full responsibility on that part.
My driveway, when we bought it first day back from the body shop, we tried to get it up my driveway, and the back bumper got caught up on the end of the driveway, and it's fiberglass. So it's telling me to go. I'm trying to push, and then there's a loud snap noise. And we look, and if you look at my car now, even the rear bumper, one side there's a little bit of a gap, and on the other side it's too close. I've pulled it apart and I've tried to find the issue. I cannot find the issue. I don't know what happened. And when we did it, there was like a shard of fiberglass this big that's popped off. We never found out where that shard of fiberglass came from.
It's just,
we don't know where.
It's just magic.
Yeah.
Magic.
I've pulled off the bumper plenty of times at this point. I can't locate it. Anyway, time goes on. I meet very, very nice people over time through the 180 clubs, S13 clubs. I took him to an S13 meet, and do you remember that? Yeah,
Yes.
They used to host a S13 meet at Olympic Park every Wednesday.
This is right before one of my HSC exams.
Yeah.
I did not study for.
Yeah.
I passed.
Yeah,
Let's say that.
Please get degrees, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
this was the night before. This was the night before his HSC exam. So
like,
we
he
went
wouldn't
out
let
on
me
a
go.
Wednesday night. His parents wouldn't let him go. I kind of convinced him. Come on,
Yeah.
let him have a bit of fun. So this is the first couple of months I have my car on the road. We drive to this meet, Olympic Park, have a good time, meet wonderful, wonderful, nice people. On the way back home, you've got Parramatta Road, right? And you go off Parramatta Road, and you want to hop onto the M4 going towards the Blacktown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On that entrance, I'm like, watch this. Like, I go to him, I look, watch this.
What's this?
And I just floor it. I want to let the turbo spool up. So I'm slowly pressing the pedal, letting the turbo spool. It's spooling, and just a loud bang. It sounded like the engine blew. Then all of a sudden, no power, and we're stopped. Keep in mind, we've gotten up to the pond. I've overtook everyone. And I'm sitting right there at that point where everything becomes one lane
Yeah.
to go onto the entrance. So I've blocked off the M4.
And I'm like, Tim, side, go to the side.
Yeah.
Quick.
And I've lost power, I've lost power steering. There's nothing. And I'm sitting there blocking the entrance of the M4. He hops out, I hop out. We're trying to move the car over. 2 minutes pass, traffic control come out. They come help push the car. I blocked off the M4 for like, I'd say probably 6 to 8 minutes.
We had 2 people like pull over, asking us if we need help.
Yeah.
Beautiful people.
Yeah.
Friendly. We said no for some reason.
Please help us.
At that moment, you just didn't want to believe the car was broken. No.
Mind you, as he said, I was the troublemaker of the family. So I have a strict curfew at
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
Yes. Keep
Guess
in
what-
mind, this time already that we're sitting at is 9:50. So we already know we're going to be late. And then this happens. Yeah. And he's got the HSC exam the next day. So we pull over to the side, we push it over. Traffic control helps us pull it over. And traffic control rock up, and I'm freaking out, right? I'm on my P plates. This thing is not P plate legal. And I don't have P plates on the car, right? I don't have P plates on the car, not P plate legal. I'm freaking out. I'm going to lose my license, this and that. He's like, no, it's all right. Relax, don't worry. I'm like, no,
Kick
come
back.
on, man.
They didn't check your license.
They didn't check my license.
There you
I
go.
don't think
You
they
were
really
fine.
cared. Anyway, we pulled over. We popped open the bonnet, and I'm trying to start it, and it's just smoke coming out of the turbo.
We have no clue what was the issue. We were not engine people at the time.
Yes, I didn't understand. I knew how to do bodywork at the time, auto electrical, not engine stuff.
So I make a call my brother. He knows, like, he's on the S15. It's an SR20 in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he'll know something, right? He was at a birthday party and brought the whole birthday party to the side of the highway. So we have 2 wogs under the car, 4 wogs, like, looking into the bonnet, and we're like, and then we just got called an idiot for no reason. We're like, why? What happened? And then you
Yeah,
answer it.
essentially one of my cousin's good mates. He looked at it and straight away, like, I tried to crank it. He goes, stop. Straight away, all he does is push a pipe together, crank it starts up. He goes, is your hose clamp came off your intercooler. Like, fucking hell. We're trying to put it back on the hose because it's the hose clamp's like 15 years old at this point. It
Yeah.
doesn't want to clamp. So he's like, he got a whole bunch of zip tied him off. He goes, don't go above 3,000 RPM.
Yeah.
All right, no worries. Sure. Drove the way home. Biggest disappointment of a night. You know, I'm afraid he's gonna get in trouble. He's gonna mess up on his HSC.
I did get in trouble. I'll confirm that.
And I felt like a total idiot. Anyway, another time happens where something similar, except this time it's
Wait.
auto electrical.
Is this the condom story?
This is the condom
the
story.
condom
Wait,
story.
the what?
Yeah.
Condom story. You guys want sexual and sexy? This is the story for you
Sexy
guys.
hot action news. Let's go.
Yeah. So look, couple months passed. I met a couple good mates through. When I worked at Costco, Marsden Park. There was a bloke there named Attila. Super nice friend. Actually, today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Attila.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Confirm the
birthday.
date.
Senator
Because
Kylo.
Yeah.
We all know when this is coming out. 16th of May.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
But Attila, he met me. Well, he helped me meet a couple friends who were into cars. One of them his name is Jacob. Now, Jacob, he has lots of experience with Beamers. That was his whole thing, Beamers. But he was one of those lebs that just he wanted to do everything himself. He wanted to know how to do everything himself. That's it. Didn't take it to anyone. You know, if there's a will, there's a way, sort of thing. And that's exactly what he did.
Mind you, that's George's cousin.
Yeah. So actually,
They didn't know. They were friends and they didn't even know.
at the time, George and Jacob didn't know they were cousins.
What?
Yeah, we'll get into that.
You'll get into that.
Anyway, look, we go to this car. We got one night, hang out for a while, and then we went to Olympic Park and then drove from Olympic Park to Blacktown. The moment I hop onto the M4, none of my cluster lights are working. I've got no cluster lights. I've got no tail lights, and I've got no headlights. Nothing's working. The whole way from Olympic Park to Blacktown. We stopped at the kebab place in Blacktown. If you know what I'm talking about, it's that kebab place. Always on the corner, open all the time. It's that spot. We pull up. One of my mates, he goes, like I'm telling him what happened. One of my mates, he goes, my brother's an auto electrician. It's all right. Don't worry. This was Jacob. Keep in mind, his brother was not an auto electrician. His brother was just an electrician. That was it.
Self-taught YouTuber.
Yeah, exactly. So he's having a look, and I for safe sake, because I know my car had electrical issues and whatnot, I always used to carry a bag of fuses in my car. Always. Little bag of fuses. I still have them in my
Little
car.
bag, bro. It's like this big, bro.
It helped. It helped every single
It
time.
saved you, yeah.
And it helps plenty other people's. Anyway, my mate, he pulled out the fuses, and the fuses kept blowing. We went through 14 fuses trying to find out the problem. So 14 fuses blown, spent about probably an hour.
Just weighing on the kebab.
I mean, we got kebabs and then we went to go do it. We were hungry first.
You were full.
beef-
Exactly.
Beef or chicken or mix?
Mix, bro.
Yeah,
Always
bro.
a
Beef
mix.
for me, bro. Beef.
Nah, mix for me, bro.
Anyway, we went back out to the car, pop open the bonnet, having a look. Sorry, we didn't pop open the bonnet first. What we did was did the fuses, and everyone's looking at the trunk section because I've got no tail lights, I've got no cluster lights, right? So we're all looking in the boot section, thinking it's something from the boot, from the tail lights. Eventually, my mate goes, "Hey, this is a 10 amp fuse. What we're going to do is we're going to chuck in a 15 amp fuse." Do you guys know what happens if you chuck in a 15 amp fuse?
No, tell me.
Okay. So he told me one of two things are going to happen. He goes, "We're going to find out where the problem is, or everything's going to work fine."
Yeah.
One of the two things. We found out where the problem was. What happened was, in the couple moments after that, we saw smoke coming out of my bonnet. There was just smoke popping out of the bonnet. So we quickly popped open the bonnet. One of my mates grabbed a fire extinguisher in case. We're having a look. This is the first time I did auto electrical work. I messed up the headlight wiring so bad.
Oh no, what'd you do?
I didn't secure the connections correctly, and what happened was one of the grounds was touching something it was not meant to touch,
Dude.
and it was messing up, and we had nothing to insulate it at the time. So one of my mates asked us, "Do we have anything, like rubber, like tape, anything of the sort?"
Yeah.
I remembered that a long time ago, he gave me a condom. This is probably like a year ago.
Look at this
You
guy.
gotta
Look at
dab me
this
up. You gotta
guy.
dab me up. You gotta dab me up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
probably.
can't believe we're doing this over condoms right now.
Hey, bro, safety first. Safety first.
So probably about a year ago, he gave me a condom, right? I'd never said it's just sat in my wallet so far.
Okay, let's not get into it. Just
It just sat in my wallet this whole time, right? And I completely forgot about
Dude,
it.
family's got you, eh? Like,
And in that moment, it just clicked in my head. In the center console, I pulled it open. There was a condom. So we pulled it out. I gave it to my mom. I'm like, I have this. Perfect. Pulls it out, breaks it, rips it around the wires. That's it. It's insulated. For the next week, completely fine. and then we fixed it properly. So I drove around for the next week,
with a condom.
wrapped around the wiring to make sure nothing broke. And then it was fine after that.
That's beautiful. Hey,
fixed
not
it
many people
correctly.
can say that. Not
Yeah,
many
I
people
mean-
can say that they can drive with that much safety. That's a 5-star ANCAP safety rating right there.
You gotta improvise, bro. You gotta use proper protection. Yeah,
right, it's a lifesaver, right?
caught my car from saving fire.
Bro, Durex better start sponsoring you after this. Dude, Durex is going to be in cars soon.
Oh, better.
Durex sponsoring World Time Attack 2024. Oh, that's too good. It's too good.
So, you want to continue?
No, you go.
No.
Go.
I'm gonna ask some questions. So
Habibi.
continue.
Yalla,
Habibi.
yalla,
Habibi.
yalla. Come on.
Here we go.
Continue, cuz. Just continue, bro. I'm gonna ask them a question that's
No,
gonna
go.
separate.
Go.
But first,
Okay.
no, before the question, you gotta tell them that your car is the prototype.
Okay.
You haven't told them this.
All right. So this bloke from the Netherlands, he helped me track down a lot of info about my car.
Yeah.
The 14-year-old.
Yes. Well, I don't know if he's 14, but he's roughly about 14, 16.
He's 18
17.
for this story.
Yes.
He's 18 now.
He was 12 back then.
I'm not too certain about his age. Anyway, he helped me using a Wayback Machine. Find out information. Yeah, you know Wayback Machine?
Bro, I
Yeah.
fucking use it daily.
Yeah. So he found the company's website. He also found other versions of my car. And I've got pictures for all of them. We've tracked them all down. There was a total of 5 made of my car. All right, we found out the cost as well to make one because you had to donate a 180 to them. This company. Company is called Material Fiberglass. That's their name. Now, you can imagine trying to Google up material fiberglass, what's going to come up? It's not the company.
Yeah.
It's just going to be fiberglass. So finding any
Some
information...
dudes around here with a surfboard company.
Exactly. So trying to find anything on this company, near impossible. Regardless, he helped me track down a lot of info. And we found out they made 5 of my particular car. Some of them had slight differences. My one in particular had one thing very noticeable about it, which is the quarter panel windows had a piece of fiberglass on top of it that's been molded onto the quarter panel.
Oh, okay. So there is no window there, is that what you're saying?
There is a window, but it's
Covered.
You can't see on the outside.
it's
Yeah.
made smaller by this piece.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Whereas the others do not have that.
Yeah.
Now, we also discovered that my one was the prototype and the show car for this company. So it used to go to other saloon shows back in the day in Japan. So it used to get towed around. Keep in mind, when my car got imported here, it had done 52,000 kilometers on the clock. So it was low.
Yeah.
It was very low. And the only way I know this is I tracked down the original importer. I did a lot of digging. The car came with engineering paperwork.
Yeah.
I tracked down the original importer. I talked to a number of different importers saying, do you recognize this car? Please, I need to find out more information. I did eventually find the importer. And he sent me about 300 pictures of when the car first went for inspection. Back in 2005.
Fuck.
Right. And the thing was slammed on the ground. It was low. The guy in Japan, he got a little cigarette packet and put it up. Next, out of all things, a little cigarette packet. He put it up just to show how low it was. And like, it's that much taller than the cigarette packet. Right? It's very low.
Photo will be on the TV.
Yes. I'll try to get it. Look, anyway, time went past and I found out all the information. My one was the prototype. Used to go to shows. The other four, so one of them went to Russia. That was drifted into a wall and crashed. That one was a white one with a CA motor.
Jesus.
It's the 1.8 litre motor. That thing ended up crashing into a wall. Gone. Another one actually went to, out of all places, Canada. Now I have pictures of this thing. I tracked them down.
Is that the blue one?
Yeah, that's
the most wanted one.
Yeah, so it's like blue with the silver decals.
Yeah.
It's the BMW for most wanted.
Yeah. It's
exactly
the same.
like that,
It's
but
similar. Yeah, the
his
decals. But this thing went to Canada, right? And it was a mechanic who bought it. He thought he could buy it and then flip it. He didn't flip it. It sat in front of the shop for like months and months. I have pictures of this thing covered in snow. Right? Eventually, time went past. He wanted to get rid of it. He cut off that front end of the car, and he changed it out with the S13. So technically, half of the car's remaining. The other half got thrown out. Right? And that thing sold. And the guy that owns it now, also a mechanic. He actually works for Nissan in Canada.
good mates of yours now.
Yeah, very good mates. He helps me get parts every
We're
now
going to
and then.
Canada.
Yeah. No, he's helped me get some very rare parts at a very good price. Discontinued stuff, of
Yep.
course.
But
man.
we had to go America to pick them up.
Oh, that was
a headache.
Yeah, the parts we ordered like 2 years prior, and then shipping we found out was over the top. So we ended up we thought it was convenient at the time. Why not go to America because we're going, get them to ship it to this address. We'll pick it up and we'll take it through airport ourselves, holding it in our hands. Keep in mind, I've got like 2 Type X garnishes, which goes a bench basically the size of bumpers. I've got 2 of them in my hands carrying it through, and they're super fragile. They're bent super easy. You're right, trying to get one that's perfect, you're paying a couple grand. It's very hard to get one.
Yeah.
So we went to 7 post offices or whatever they call
we
it
went to
over
like
there?
FedEx. We went to a whole bunch of different places, and they wanted to charge us like $1,800 for shipping.
So you might as well have done it from Australia.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been cheaper actually.
So now what we did, we took the risk and took it to the airport.
So basically, these parts went from Japan to Canada, Canada to the US. The US, we brought them with us to the airport to here. So it was a bit of a trip, but anyway.
You're lucky Dad got first class, got extra room,
Yeah,
chucked it
more
through.
storage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, back to the story. That S13 that's in Canada, I have pictures of it. I have pictures of after the swap. The guy's in. He's trying to get an RB, the R31 motor. He wants one of those in it. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. He wants R31 motor, in it, but he wants one.
Yeah.
Right. So he's trying to get his hands on one of those and put it in, and it looks weird. It's now all white S13 front end. That's one of the others. Another one went to the UK. So that one has an interesting story. That one went to. It was actually in Australia. There was 2 in Australia. There was my one. And there was one that was actually up in Brisbane. So it went from Japan, Brisbane. In Brisbane, it got sold in 2016 for 60 grand. Now, this thing was making 335 kilowatts at the time. It looks like mine. It's red as well, but giant wing on the rear, like a big GT wing. Interior was all done up. It's got Defi gauges all around.
Yeah,
it was nice. It was really nice, over the top. And this thing went from Brisbane to the UK. Sorry, Brisbane, Italy, then UK. Ooh. All right, and then it ended up at a Wreckers. And I have pictures. Actually, one of my mates, he found it on Marketplace in the UK. He sent it across to me. And the thing's been stripped apart. I have pictures. I have pictures of when it was in Japan, and pictures of when it was stripped apart, and the thing was gone. I was trying to get the guy to just sell me just the panels, just so I could make a replica of my kit
Yeah.
in case something does happen. But he wanted to ship me the whole chassis with the kit.
Yeah.
And that's it. And he wanted to charge like 10,000 pounds without the shipping.
Yeah, so 20 grand.
I couldn't do it. And that thing's gone. It was crushed. And then the other one, the final one, that one is actually in Japan. Still being used as a drift car.
Yeah.
So it's an actual dedicated drift car this guy drives it is. It's blue. It's like a really light blue. You can find videos of it on YouTube drifting. And I tried, the guy put up the video 7 years ago. I put in the comment, hey, could you let me know who owns that blue car? Can I get in contact with him? Thinking nothing of it. I think I wouldn't get a response back. The video's been up for 7 years, barely any views. And then I get a message back about a week later. This guy, he writes, that's actually my brother's car. I'm like, huh? So I'm trying to get in contact with him. He downloads Messenger specifically to speak to me. Now keep in mind,
because they don't use the same apps as we do.
Yeah, correct. And he only speaks Japanese. So we're going back and forth using Google Translate. It's very difficult. Turns out the guy who put up the YouTube video, they own a track and a wreckers in Japan. Now that guy who also put up the YouTube video, he Nario, the car YouTuber, he put up a video of his car a while back ago, and it's a quad turbo. I think it's a quad turbo 1JZ S14. It's weird.
I know, but
It's
it sounds
over the
great.
top. He swaps between the throttles using a automatic shift knob. It's very odd setup. He's got radiators mounted in his quarter panels. Super odd. Anyway, he gets in contact with me, sends me videos of his cars drifting, and none of these other guys, they know nothing about the history of these cars. Nothing. But this bloke from the Netherlands, he's helped me get in contact with them. He's helped me explain the history to them. And then we found out that this company also made offshoots of other cars. So, for example, they have a Lexus a Lexus Sora, but they turned into a Merc.
What?
Yeah. They also have another version of my car, but it's got an FTO front end, and the hood and the fenders open up the opposite way. They made some really odd stuff.
Yeah, right.
There was also one of their S13s with actually a super minimalistic, nice kit on it. That actually ended up in China, out of all places. It gets used as a drift and daily car.
Wait,
Some girl actually takes pictures in this car with her poodle in the passenger seat. It's super weird.
wasn't your car, someone drifted your car too, eh? I remember a while back you told me the owner that you were off, he used to drift it, remember?
No,
No, you remember?
I don't.
It was him or the guy before him, and you drifted your car. You were telling me this.
Drifted it.
Yeah,
You sure?
100%.
I know
You're not
about
forgetting it wasn't him drifting it, right?
I know
No, it
about the
wasn't him.
diff. You remember the diff?
I remember the diff, but I'm telling you, you told me, because I never forget, that someone's drifting
My
your
main
car.
only drift car.
I mean, a 180 would have always been used as a drift car. Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone
it's a
uses
perfect
it,
car.
But look, going on forward, I did eventually get in contact with the original owner. So we skipped a bit. I got defected.
I think that was the long story you weren't talking about.
This is the story you guys want to hear.
Look, after a bit of time, I went to with the 180 Club. We go to this thing called Cars and Coffee. It's a monthly event based in it's
Yeah, Punch Bowl.
yeah, near Punch Bowl. I forget the area. I always forget, but the guy that runs it, there was 3 people that used to run it. Jen, that's one of them. She has an R34 Skyline. Had one. You've got Abdul, which he has a coffee van.
Yeah, Abdul, thank you for the free dog.
Abdul, best guy. Abdul.
Best guy, best coffee.
But Abdul, mad scientist, he's nuts with his cars. He's got a crazy 80s Toyota with a massive turbo that spools up like nuts.
Love it.
He's chucked turbos on excavator diggers like he's nuts.
Good
he's
man.
actual mental.
Good man.
Actually, he
great
still has
bloke.
that. I've
Yeah, I
seen it
know,
in
I know.
person, bro. It's
He calls
cool.
his 180 Smurf.
Yeah.
You know?
His contact on my phone is actually Papa Smurf.
Yeah. And then thank you, Aaliyah. She ran. Well, she still does run the 180SX New South Wales Owners Group. She was never classified as one of the owners of it, but she essentially was. She did everything for that group. They run an event, Cars and Coffee, monthly, first Saturday of every month.
Friday now, if anyone wants to know.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the last couple months of the year, they did charity events for Food Bank Australia. So they'd raise money, and then they would use that money to go buy supplies. I used to go with them, get all the supplies.
Or donate
load
supplies.
them up. Correct, yeah. And we used to go on this cruise where we would cruise from one location with all all the supplies, everything, in everyone's car, and we'd cruise to Food Bank Australia, which is next to Eastern Creek. Now, the first time I went on this cruise, we went from Wentworthville to Eastern Creek. So we took the highway down, and you're driving, hopped off the highway. We got on Great Western Highway, hopped off there. And then we were going through, it's called Doonside Road, right? Mm-hmm. This spot, I have to drive there every day to get to work now. And it freaks me out. Because that is the one spot no.
PTSD.
Yeah, exactly. I was driving, and there's about 11 of us in a convoy. We got 34 Skyline, we got a couple 180s. One of the 180s in particular, it annoys me because the cop specifically went for me. Keep in mind, a week prior, my mum said, put P plates on the car. I'm sick of you driving without P plates, put P plates on.
Because you always did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
She just wanted to double check.
She just wanted to double check that.
Yeah.
You might have just lost it that day.
Your mum is just such a kind-hearted soul. Like, she just wanted to thank you for doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, what happened was, I have dash cam footage of this, by the way, of the cop doing U-turn, chasing up. He skipped past. I was second in front of the convoy. He skipped past so many cars. One of the other 180s there, it was probably painted about 8 different colors across all the panels, and it had 3 different types of wheels on it. Right? He skips straight past it and goes straight for me. I get pulled over, and the next couple moments, traffic starts blocking up. He's blocked up traffic. He won't even let me pull into a side street. I'm sitting there on the main road, cars going past very slowly, looking, and essentially pulls me over, tells me to pop open the bonnet, hand him my license. I tell him the car's engineered. I keep telling him the car's engineered. He keeps disregarding me.
He won't even look at the papers.
Correct. Eventually pops up in the bonnet, having a look. He saw I had a P plate on. He goes, these aren't P plate legal. I'm like, yeah, but I have a exemption. Because I did have an exemption from New South Wales government. So I had paperwork stating that the car I can drive it because I did get the car dynoed and it made under 130 kilowatts per ton, which that's the rule. Now, what I didn't realize is the engineering paperwork that was done in 2006, the original engineering paperwork, that car had an SR20 when it first came into Australia, right? Sorry, not an SR20. It had a CA motor, so 1.8 litre. About a couple months into the first guy owning it, apparently the engine blew, so they did a quick SR20 swap. But he didn't bother to update the paperwork. And because of that, the whole engineering cert becomes void because the one thing changed. I didn't know that at the time. I also didn't know P platers cannot drive engineered cars. So the moment I told him I have engineering paperwork, I was screwed over to begin with. Anyway, he starts writing up stuff. I'm sitting on the side of the road, probably about an hour. Right, I'm sitting on the curb, on the side of the road, cars going past. Another cop rocks up, and him and the other cop are having a laugh. Right, and keep in mind, this cop is not even from New South Wales. He's from Victoria. So I don't know what he's even doing up here. But he pulls me over, I get done. He hands me defect paperwork, yellow labels my car. I know it doesn't sound bad, but he handed me my paperwork, HVIS, full compliance. License suspended. Right, I had my license suspended.
You were fined out for 6 months.
Yeah. And then the fine as well. So I got 2 different fines. One, the car was not compliant, which was a Grain 100. And the other one was driving a P-plate prohibited vehicle, which was $800 and loss of license.
Yes.
So I got done over hard. I still had to get to this charity event and drop off the supplies. That's in the back of my car. This event closes in the next 20 minutes. Like the actual food bank store, they close in the next 20 minutes. One of the other guys, he had to get taxied back by someone else, drive my car because I couldn't drive it. He did that, then I had to go straight home. I bawled my eyes, if I'm being honest, because that car is what led me to meet so many people.
Best of friends.
Yeah. Even now, those friends, I love them to death, and that car is the reason I met them.
That's what it's all about, bro. It's car culture. Well, that's...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to me, losing the ability to drive that car, it felt horrid. right? I couldn't drive it. It's not P-plate legal, nothing of the sort. Now, the next couple months after, I did go to court over it. And of course, I lost. Not realizing the rules, allegedly, from the beginning. And then the HVIS full compliance. For the next 4 months, I went 6 times. Every time you go, they charge you $70. And I could never drive it there. I had to organize with someone else. So it was either his
Shout out
dad,
to my
his brother
dads.
driving it, because no one else could drive manual in the family.
Oh, that's so funny when Dad
Where's
was
that
driving.
van?
We still had that van,
We
eh?
still had the VIN at the time.
But the van can't fit
Yeah.
Ferrari 180.
Yeah.
That was so funny, bro, to be honest. Seeing Dad drive it, though, was the funniest thing, because he's like little in your car, bro.
He hates my car, bro.
Of course he hates it. Every day,
It's
my
super
dad sees
impractical.
him, he's like, sell your car.
Yeah, just sell
Sell
it.
it now.
Just sell it. You know,
How much can you get for your car?
Because it's so much money, time, and effort I've put into that car.
You just
So
can't
much.
justify it anymore.
Exactly. My family keeps telling me sell it, and I'm like, no, I can't. I can't. Emotionally, I cannot. I love that car to
It's
death.
so hard.
I
He
backed
tells
you
me.
up.
He tells me to keep.
From day one, I always backed you up.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't understand the emotional connection that you have with
Exactly.
a car, especially something that is like your idle dream car as well, especially. Like you can develop a relationship with a car, like Jeremy Clarkson said. Like it could be a fucking Ford ST, a Ford RS, it could be a Holden SS, it could be a 180 SX, FSX. But there's a reason for it because you go through so much pain and it's like, well, fuck, if it ends here now, what was the whole point?
Exactly. Right.
There's so much more to it than just the car. It is the friends. It is everything. It is like, we wouldn't be doing this podcast right now if it wasn't for cars.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you, all of you.
That's true.
Thank you for the people who listen as well.
Yeah.
Keep the passion alive.
Yeah.
That's it.
But next 4 months, 6 inspections. Every time I go, I had to pay money. And every time I went, they always gave me a different reason. Every time I went. I told them from the beginning, list off everything, go through my car extensively. I'll do everything from the beginning. No, every time I went, they came up with a different reason. They told me my lower tie rod, right, that needed to be changed out. I went to a mechanic. I got it changed out. Family mechanic. I got a whole brand new one, got it changed out. Went back to them. No, it's still leaking. Got to get a new one.
Gas
I
pump.
got a new one. No, you didn't. You just changed it out with another used one. I'm like, no, it's a brand new one. I got it changed out. They got me on 0.5 mil wheel poke on the front. 0.5 mil. If you guys have ever gone to the pits, you know what it's like. They go through your car extensively, but every time I went, they gave me a list of reasons.
Remember the transmission drop?
Oh, right, yeah. There was
Yeah.
a single drop of oil that came off the rear main seal. Single drop of oil.
Even for yet, it's just hanging there.
Yeah. Like it's literally like a piece of dried up oil on
And
the
that's
rear
how he
main seal.
felt for that day.
Yeah. There was another time they said you got to pull off your tint. I pulled off the tint right in front of them there and then. I don't care. I wanted to get it fixed. They told me, originally when I first bought my car, my license plate was on the left side of my car. It had a side mount. They said, no, you got to put it on the right side. So I fitted my license plate to the other side of the car. And they told me it needed to be mounted on with more than 2 bolts. So we put on 4 bolts to make sure they couldn't do anything about it.
What fucking car has more than 2 bolts?
I know, right? But no, apparently that was the rules. So we mounted the license plate on the other side of the car in the grille.
Bro, you ever seen a Miata's license plate before?
I know.
It barely fucking sits on the car.
I know. It's fucking ridiculous. And even after that, the final time I went, when they finally cleared me, the bloke that kept dealing with me, he goes to me, I'll see you next year. The fucking audacity of this dickhead to tell me, I'll see you next year. As if I was fucking coming back. Not to mention the trips. I had to do 2 trips to Canberra. I had a mate called Alex. He helped drive my car from Sydney to Canberra to get my car re-engineered with the original engineer. I went to a couple different engineers. He got quotations from them to redo the engineering, sir. And I was getting quoted like 16 to 22 grand to do for 3 pieces of paper. I went to the original engineer. He goes, we can redo it. It'll be a new version of the old one, but it'll cost you 3.7K. No worries. Went to him the first time. You can't have a turbo timer. No worries. Get that removed. The wheels are too wide. No worries. Got that removed. And I had a tail light cover going across the back of my car to make it look more Ferrari-ish. This was the original one. Has the company's logo on it. the indicators were too small. So I had to pull that off. Now, I went back to Sydney. I got all the stuff changed out for him, and I drove back. I have a very cursed picture of my car.
Spaceship?
Yeah, the spaceship.
Love the spaceship. Was rocking the stockies my
Yeah.
brother gave you. Oh.
So his brother had, if you know, Shadow Chrome S15 stock wheels, right? His brother gave me them to borrow, to put them in my car to pass. And those wheels, keep in mind, the car I have now, my car had 25 mil spaces. They're 4 to 5 stock conversion spaces. Plus the wheels are 17 by 11 and a half. Right? You can imagine. If you know about stock S15 wheels, they are 16 by 6.5 or 16 by 6. They're skinny. I have a picture of my car and it's riding out like a spaceship. You cannot see the wheels.
I'm actually getting it up right now for the boys.
The
They need to see this.
Just so you're aware, the back of my car is 90 mil wider each side on the rear, and the front is 60 mil wider each side on the front. So it's a decent gap. Now, we had to drive this car from Sydney to Canberra, like that. And it is the most fucking weirdest thing you ever see on the road. You got these wheels all the way in. Right? If you look at it from the back, you can't even see the wheels.
Yeah.
It just looks like it's floating until you get to the side and you notice the wheels are all the way in. It looks ridiculous.
Almost futuristic. It's hovering.
Exactly, right. But it's horrid. It's absolutely horrid.
Oh.
I have a video somewhere of me driving it on my street without a bumper.
Look at that.
It's truly messed up.
Man.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Could you imagine the humiliation of you driving that car from one state to another like that?
Can
Solid
you
3
imagine
hours.
some fucking 86 driver coming past beside you being like, ha! And you're like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly right. Anyway, 2 trips, got that done. Probably worth about $6,000 worth of work I had to redo to the car. Everything fixed. Even after that whole dilemma, I couldn't drive the car.
Yeah.
Because lost my license and I had to get my full license to drive it. So in that time, I just worked on it for a little bit. In that time, I made up a plan. I did a whole bunch of research, learned to do stuff. I learned to paint. So I know how to paint parts at home. My dad, he paints cars. So
I'm going to fucking hit you up soon.
no worries. But essentially, he's taught me how to paint cars. In that time, when I was off the road, I had a mate of mine, Abdul. He came over, he helped me install cams. Now, the story with these cams is a bit of an odd one. He's built plenty of SRs. He pulled off the rocker cover. We got cams. They were 256 Tomeys. Right, pretty standard stuff, nothing crazy. Now, he's done cams plenty of times. He said be a couple hours, max, nothing longer. It ended up being about 4 days. Now, he kept coming back and looking, and he goes, something's off, he can't figure it out. We had adjustable, what do you call them? I forgot the word now.
Valve rings.
No, the cam gears. Right, we had adjustable cam gears, everything was, we had all the parts for it. He's done plenty of times. We pulled off the cams. He's trying to figure it out. 4 days go past. He has no idea. It's blowing his head up. And then he thinks about it and he's like, wait a fucking second. He goes, whoever built your SR originally put the cams in opposite. So intake was on exhaust and exhaust was on intake. It was 180 degrees out of timing. But it still ran like this for about a year and a half, completely fine. Occasionally there was power loss, but it would still drive.
It would have.
That's it. He was telling me the car shouldn't have been able to start.
Yeah.
It's been running rich the entire time, but it wasn't noticeable. After that, my car was completely different.
What ECU's in it?
Stock. It was just a stock ECU.
That is fishy.
Yeah. So 180 degrees out of timing, I was driving my car for a year and a half. Completely fine.
That's fucking news to me.
Yeah. Anyway, we got the cams put in. I ended up getting coils for it finally because it was on just stock standard shock absorbers. I actually found out I have there's a company from back in the day and they made these coilovers and they were essentially just rebranded Nismo coilovers and I have them on the rear of my car. They're super rare to come by. I've got those just hanging in my garage. I don't know what to do with them. But the cars on shock absorbers, I got coils. I started researching suspension I wanted to eventually go to suspension setup. Airbags, hydraulics, I had no idea. Made up a whole list. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go air cups. What, same problem with him?
Bro, he installs and has it. We're in an apartment of air suspension right now.
I know. This was a while ago. I didn't know too much.
Well, you haven't met yet. Otherwise, man, it would have been full team, man, not half.
In the end, I ended up getting coilovers. I got some for a pretty good price. A Grand 100 I paid for BC Golds. Practically brand new. They were driven 11 kilometers. And then I got air cups. Now, I put the air cups in. Keep in mind, I've never done suspension work in my life. Sat down with my dad. We took the car to his house, pulled it apart. And honestly, easiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah?
Super, super easy. I've never done suspension work. Never. But it was so easy putting them in. Hooking up the lines, the wiring, and it was all done correctly. In the end, we got the car working perfectly. And then we even made a hidden setup. You know, where it's hidden away, but you can fold it down and you can see everything.
It's still engineered.
Yeah, still engineered. So the car's engineered, right? Everything's engineered on it, of course.
Yeah, because you took it to the shop after and you got it certified.
Correct, yes. Yeah. And then since then, I've just been accumulating parts. I've been trying to get stuff. I've been collecting stuff. I got an old Japanese license plate, one of the light up ones, off a Facebook group called Backshelf. Amazing group. Have you guys heard of Backshelf before?
No, but just the name.
I'm going to have to show you guys this after this. But if you like anything old JDM, Facebook group called Backshelf. People post some crazy, crazy stuff in there. Absolutely insane.
Okay.
Fun fact of the day.
Yeah. You guys ever heard of Royal Clover keys?
No.
No.
Really, really wacky keys from Japan. Some of them have pictures of Australian coins on them. I've got one which is Snoopy. It's a
Like the
Snoopy
dog?
key. Yeah. But the thing is, I paid like $80 for that. Now they're going for like $200.
Bro, sell it.
Bro, it's ridiculous. People are paying $200 for a car key with a picture of Snoopy on it, and it's pink.
Bro, people pay $1,000 for a lot of weird things.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. But look, I've been accumulating parts. I've got the inverted hatch. And I haven't had much time to drive my car because of my new job, right?
Yeah.
326 wing.
I did buy a 326 wing off a mate. That's I want to get that chucked on.
So right now the car is in a development stage.
Yeah, of course.
We're-
It has been this entire time.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
we're building on it. And when do you think you'd have it out in the public?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I don't think it's going to go out in the public for a while now.
Okay.
As of about a month and a half ago, I had a bit of an unfortunate incident. I drove the car after work home, and on the way home, I hopped off the highway, hopped off the M4, and the moment I hopped off, 2 minutes in, I heard what sounded like a knocking noise. So
Knocking off death.
yeah, rod knock, as you
Yep.
call it. So
Rodney.
yeah,
Came to say hello.
Hey,
Knock,
you said
knock.
hello.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So looks like my motor's gone, but I do have another motor that I've been wanting to put in for quite some time.
And that motor would be?
I don't know if I want to say it.
No,
Ooh, surprise.
Look, there are a couple of people who know. I've actually spoken to George about it already.
Yep.
He wants to help put it in. He's excited for it as well. Very excited.
Is it another engine that you would assume to be in a Nissan?
Nope.
It's something different.
That's the thing. I want different. I want odd. I don't like. Don't get me wrong. Like having a 2JZ RB, LS. That sort of stuff is fun.
It's
It's
awesome.
fine.
It's a common go-to.
But it's a B55. No.
No BMWs. No BMWs. No.
It's a Ford Falcon inline 6.
I actually did think about putting a Barrett in it for quite some time. You can get the LPG bottom ends quite cheap.
Yeah.
You chuck on a red top head, blue top turbo.
Yep.
You got a very good setup.
Very nice, powerful car.
And it's been done before with 3 other 180s in Australia.
Fucking bet it has.
Yeah. To do that though, you got to chop the hood, push back the firewall. They are tall motors and long. But then you've also got to chuck an R32 cross member on the front with 5mm spaces. Otherwise, it's just going to sit way too
He's
long.
looked into this.
I've done plenty of research. Plenty of research already.
So it's none of the engines that we've labelled so far, which means...
I mean, I've already spoken to you about it just
What?
before the podcast. I asked if you could, if your uncle.
Oh, yeah.
But
George.
Well, I hope George doesn't get blown this time.
funny enough, though, that particular engine, it's quite a unique one. There's actually a company in Australia. They make mounting kits for the bell housing of a T56 transmission. All right. And I've already gone and spoken to Haltech and Wetherall Park at the offices about it. But I've also spoken to Link about it, about the ECU management. So we'll see. But my plan is to go with that engine. It's a bit of a spicy one. For me, it's got power, but it's not about the power. Just about having something a little bit different.
Yeah. And it will be. Like the sound, the feeling, everything, it will. I mean, given the chassis, man, like it's an incredible car. I'd argue it's one of the best cars to engine swap.
I mean, 110%. It's so versatile. There's so many things you can do with it. And look, that particular engine, I don't know if you know, but 86s and 180SXs, they have very similar engine dimensions.
Inside? Yeah.
The actual engine bay, they're very similar size dimensions. And I've done the research, and that particular engine I'm going with has already been fit inside of an 86. So I know it'll fit inside of a 180. In the US, it's been fit in a couple 240SXs, but never a 180SX that I can find.
Yep.
But I'm hoping in time.
Spicy.
I already know where I can source the motor from, and it's not expensive. If you know the motor, there's two versions of it. One will set you back about 60, and the other one will set you back about $4,500. And the only difference between the two motors is the intake manifold. That's it.
Swap that out.
That's the only thing that's different between the two motors.
Yeah.
And there's a $55,000 difference right there.
Well, I tell you what, bro. I want to hear the course of this build, and it sounds like we're going to have to get both you boys back on. Because I want you back on when both these cars are well under development. They're out. I want them out in the streets. I want them having fun. I want you boys having fun. And I reckon we bring you boys back on to talk about
Let's do it.
the pain of putting it together.
In time. We're just, it's going to be a little bit.
Dan, what time are we on, brother?
2:16.
Jesus.
So we're going to do part 2, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're going to do part 2.
So we'll bring you on part 3. 3 haven't even kicked into Brandon's cars. What are the plans for it?
Oh, before we get into my car, I want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah,
Go for it.
It's one of the questions I added to the doc. I don't know if you guys saw it, but have you guys ever lost your license, and what was the reason? Because we heard Tim's. I want to hear you guys, and then I'll tell you mine. I can ready. The neck is hurting already. I can feel the pain.
I'm a good driver.
Was there multiple occasions?
No, there's only ever been one, but I'm going to let Tony go.
Okay, Tony. Not much.
I've lost mine twice.
Oh.
The first time was, this was just not long after picking up the Mustang, 2017. At the time, all I heard from around uni was Royal National Park. That's the way you bring your cars. You'd bring your cars to Royal, give a pump. I was like, cool, I'll bring it out there. I was with my mate. He was in a Beamer, fucking flogging through that. This was before I even put a new exhaust on it, like nothing. Pretty much bone stock. Put the stickers on, the splitters, the window livers, this, that, all the bolt-on sticky stuff. And then I went in, and then you go into Royal on a weekend, you got to pay like the entry fee. So the guys there were talking, he was telling me how I was going to pay. I was like, I just picked up the car, so we're just in here checking it out. So I was like, you just bought the car. He's like, should do a burnout. I was like, I don't know really how to. He's like, just try one, I'll let you in for free. Gives me the ticket, and I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. So I was like, well, good, try it. Try it going in.
Private property.
Bro, this was years ago. Fucking, I'm old now, so whatever.
he already paid his dues for it. Like, don't get him again.
I paid my dues for it. Fucking went in, it was pretty shit. Fucking fanged around Royal National Park the whole day. Had the GoPro on the roof, filmed everything. On the way out, I was like, it might be the same guy again. Should I give it to him again? They're like, yeah, why not? Tried it again. Fucking fanged. This one was decent. And then afterwards, smoke was still around, but I was far from the smoke. Next thing I see, fucking a cop car, highway car. I'm like, oh, fuck. But he was still queuing up to go into Nasho. So I was like, surely he's gonna come around. Next thing, he fucking chucks a Yui. When I saw him, I was like, fuck, I'm dead. So I already started fanging towards the fucking lights. But I'm like, he's probably going to get me before the lights. Was that lights? It's a fucking long light. You either go right, back down to Sydney, or you go to left, and that goes down to Cronulla. I'm like, fuck. I hope I don't even fucking get there. He comes around, pulls me up. At that time, I was like, fuck, the GoPro's on. Fucking the GoPro's on. He better not look at it. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I was just filming a vlog video, this and that. He's like, show me your license. Gave him a license. Mind this, I was still on my P's. I was like, oh, fuck.
Mustang?
But then, yeah, in a Mustang. Other time I was like,
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I was pretty
great
confident.
question.
I said I got an exemption letter.
Oh,
I never read that exemption letter. It said you had a 15K radius from work.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, so he read it out to me. And I was like, he's like, have you ever read this? I was like, the exemption letter. Yeah, it's got all my details on it. This, that, where I work at. It's like, yeah, so where do you work at? Brookvale. He's like, how far is Brookvale from here? I don't know. I came here via the GPS. He's like, well, it's out of the 15-kilometer range. I was like, oh, is it? He's like, yeah, well, you can't drive here. I was like, oh, like I really didn't know anything. I was like, oh.
used to me.
He's speaking Cantonese by now. He's
I was like, oh, okay.
I'm not from Australia.
Goes all through that, and he's like, I saw you do a burnout. I was like, no, I didn't. At that time, I'm like, fuck, I'm in deep shit. I'm not going to fucking say I did anything. Because he's like, I'm recording you this, that, whatever. On the spot, suspended on the spot. Exemption letter was voided. And then he's like, well, you're towing the car home or you're getting your mate to drive it home for you. You're getting someone to come around to drive for you. And then my mate was in the Beamer behind, but he was by himself as well. So I was like, fuck, what do I do this? And we threw his Beamer to the side. And then, yeah, he drove my car out. At that time, I was still like, do I drive it out? Do I not drive it out? Do I drive it out? Do I not drive it out? I was like, nah. So he drove it out and said that fucking same cop was waiting around, waiting for it.
It's always a trap, bro. Always.
That, I'll tell you after the party what I did afterwards about that. After that suspension. So essentially, yeah, that was the first time. And then the second time was just, yeah, a speeding. And then this one was fucked. And I wanted to take it to court, but I did some dumb shit. My old man was about to kill me already at that time. So I was scared to be like, I want to take this to court. So essentially, in the city, outside UTS, there's this like little lane where you could turn left. But all the Asians, they don't fucking look at the crossing sign. They cross whenever they fucking want. This was fucking late at night. It just turned into Anzac Day. So it was double demerit. There was a camera there. I knew there was a camera there, but this old person was walking across the road. In the camera, in the shot where they got me crossing the red light, you see a person crossing the road. And my car was parked there. And it said, I took a red because I was standing there. Bang. That company car, 2400, 8 points.
Oh.
Guess what car it is in? Colorado. I was like, someone's crossing the road. I'll be patient, let them through. Next minute, flash. I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, whatever. Got home. I was like, I should wait for the fine to come through. I'll pay for it. I still got demerit to go for. No. 12 o'clock, 0 minutes, 53 seconds. Straight into double demerits. See you later. And then that much shit lately, I was like, fuck, I'm not going to bring it. Like, I thought about it because in the photo, you have the person crossing the road. You could see them crossing the road and I was stopped exactly. Fuck it, whatever. I was just shitting myself.
That's them coming for you right now, brother.
I tell old man about it. He was really going to kill me. So I was like, fuck it. I was suspended. There you go. Same results. Happened twice.
Oh, dude, that's horrible. That's horrible. You want to hear mine now, don't you?
Yeah, dude.
No, mine isn't that bad. Mine's me being more of a naughty boy. So the background noise is very fitting.
Hey, coming.
No.
They're going to tell their side of the story.
I've been done for speeding a few times. I've been done for like the dumbest things with speeding, like to the point where, again, double demerits. It was Easter, bro. I'm from out in the sticks, so like I was coming back from my farm out in Tamworth, and I had to get back to Sydney. I've been working like a full weekend. Like I'm still in my work shit. Like I've got full work shirt on. I'm covered in shit. I'm just in my ute. I just want to get home. It's a one-way highway. So it's just one lane of traffic. There's no dual lane. There's no nothing. It's one lane either way from Tamworth until about like, I don't know, until you get to Muswellbrook. I'm probably saying names where you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
We've been to Tamworth plenty.
Yeah, plenty of times.
Okay. So you know then, like once you hit like after Muswellbrook, it's just one lane.
One lane, yeah.
Anyway, I get out. I'm on the main road, and there's this. I'll never ever forget it. It was this old red Nissan Pulsar. I cannot forget it. This motherfucker is doing like 80 in 100 zone, and obviously I want to go 110. But I'm angry, dude. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got to get back to Sydney. I'm not even trying to speed. I just want to go the speed limit to get home. As I finally come to an overtaking lane, it's coming around this big bend. And I'm like, okay, this is my moment. I'm going to fucking take this bend. Fuck this guy. I'm going to give this guy the finger as I go around. Fuck you. I'm going to rev it like a motherfucker as well because my ute is loud. Anyway, as I come past, I've come full circle around this car, doing like 130, 140, just instantly start continuing to pick up speed. As soon as I've made it past him, I let go of the gas. But as soon as I've let go of the gas and then realize what's happening on right in front of me, there is a highway patrol car sitting on the other side of the road.
Like a pinging, yeah.
Pinged me at like the highest speed possible, waiting for me. He fucking does a Yui and he pulls me over and I was like, can I tell you something? And he's like, what? And he goes, you know that car was going slow. Like, you know that what I was doing was completely fine. Like, I'm sorry that I was speeding, but at the same time, like, give me a break here.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have to get you for what you're doing. And just full double demerits E-start. And I was like, you motherfucker. Whatever. Anyway, but the real reason why I lost my license is because when I was, you wouldn't believe this, I was a few days off getting my full license. And it was Anzac Day, believe it or not, and we were at the Newport Arms. I was with all my dumb friends back in the day. Newport Arms is not far from here. It's just down the road in the Northern Beaches. I was having a fucking great time. It was a great day. I love getting on the piss. I still do now. And I took it upon myself to get in my car and drive all of my destination as far as I was going. I can't make this up. I was going to go about 70 meters down the road where my house was and park the car there and go inside my house and go home. When I got in my car, I was parked in a little alleyway and I turned left. Like, I didn't think two things about it. I just got in the car and I went down the alleyway and I turned left. All the cops, there was a full RBT there, no lights on. It was pitch black. And then as soon as you turn, it was like a full stadium of just shit just turned on. And I was just like, fuck me dead. Anyway, they gave me the full thing. The problem with what happened to them was literally only days before, it became a criminal offense to drink drive in a car, like a criminal offense. And I was like, oh, fuck. So they've got me out of the car. They've arrested me. And then
I wasn't really drink driving, so...
No, I did, bro. I paid my dues, bro. I did it. I'm fine. I'm happy to talk about it.
Safety first, guys. So I'm just saying, safety first.
I don't recommend anyone does it. It's fucking stupid. I've never drink driven since. But the point was, I got inside the cop car, and they take you to the command station. Now, the command station is in DY, which isn't far from here, but it gives you a little bit of time from Newport. Now, I breathed in a high range rating. And there's obviously a window of time when, by the time you breathe again for your second test, which is your official test result, it's obviously going to be lower.
Yeah.
This cop goes, we're going to take you to DY police station or whatever. And I was like, cool. And I'm in the car, he's talking to me. He goes, so where were you going? And I was like, that's my house there. And I was, it's on Bishop Street. And I could not fucking make this up. He goes, you're a fucking moron. And I went... I know. I can't make this up. I
had to agree.
I was like, yeah, there's nothing. I can't make that up. I'm a fucking moron. Like 70 meters. I can't make this up. From the Newport Arms, I could have just kept walking because I had to walk from the Newport Arms to my car, which is already like a quarter of the journey. So
he cared about the car too much.
So it's not like I was trying to do something wrong, but what I did was very, very wrong. The problem is that he told me he was taking me to DY police command station. He took me to the top of Newport Hill, which is just around the corner from the Newport Arms. So when I did the test again, luckily there was fucking people getting pinged for drink driving that night. Shitloads. There was a line of people. It's like as if I was waiting to get in a line in a club. Like, I'm not making this up. There were people there, and it was my only saving grace because in my head I was like, oh fuck, like this is not good. The line was there. By the time breathed. Breathed my second test. I was mid-range, and it was not a nice feeling. It was a horrible fine. I had a great lawyer. By the time I actually went to court, I had already been off my license for 4 months, and I got away with like a $700 fine and only 4 more months off my license, and that was it.
That's good.
I was fucking so lucky. But you have to remember, at this time, when it became a criminal offence, people were legit going to jail for high range drink driving. For even if it was your first time, nothing. Like, judges were out there to make a statement, and I was shitting bricks. I was like, fuck,
You're just
really?
in the background, like,
Yeah.
that's it, I'm done.
I was like, fuck. And I walked away without a criminal conviction. Oh, the moral of the story is do not fucking drink drive. It is so fucking dumb. It is not worth it. Speaking from experience, it's fucking dumb. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Boys.
So you want to hear my one, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Well, before I get to the point where I lost my license, I just want to say I had a similar story about the overtaking part. It's when his niece got, what was it? When you were working for my dad and your knees just gave up.
That was a horrible week for me.
Yeah.
I within that week, right? It was my birthday party that week. I also had my you know what
Shisha
shisha
base?
is Ragila.
Yeah.
I had a expensive one from Russia, so it was quite expensive. It cost about $1,000 for a shisha. Basically, I didn't have a job at the time. I was working for my uncle, so his dad. Right, he's got a cleaning business, industrial cleaning, and what happened was the night before my shisha base broke, so there goes about $600 just for that piece of glass. Right, so that broke the night before. Then I went to work in the 180. Right, keep in mind the 180 is roughly about an hour drive from where I live to where we're working. It's manual, and on that day,
He was on his fools, by the way.
I was on my full license at the time. I fractured and dislocated my kneecap on the left one. So I was going down some steps, carrying some equipment. I fractured and dislocated it. It fell down the steps. I could not walk. He had to drive my car home. He was on his full license.
Before we get to that point, I had to drive my Hilux through our school.
Oh yeah, because where we were.
Running over children, bro? What are you doing?
No, they were in class. They were so confused. They just saw a random white ute just pull up on the side path, going into like this little like
school went to
playground.
lockdown.
Yeah, legit. And we got him into the car. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to the hospital. He's like, nah, I want to go to my doctor. Okay.
We got a doctor. You know where? We got
bro.
a doctor.
He's stubborn. I'm stubborn. We argued for like 50 minutes. He won. I took him to his doctor. I'm like, watch, you're going to end up going there anyway. So we went, they send them off to another place.
Another medical center.
So we went to that place. And after that, we finally got to go to the hospital.
Yeah. They said, we can't do anything, go to a hospital. Went to a
So
hospital.
I took him to the best hospital I know. Westmead?
Westmead.
Westmead.
Another good one.
Yeah.
Nah, but it's better than Blacktown.
We were inside the emergency room.
Wait, we're talking about the driving. Remember the situation?
Oh, that fucking idiot. Yeah, go on.
So I'm trying to get him as fast as I can because he's in pain. Like I don't want to see my cousin in pain. So I'm doing the speed limit, and this guy doing 3 times under the speed limit. And it's one lane. If you know the area, it's the bridge and all that.
It's out near Windsor Way.
Yeah, so it's one lane, and then there's just like the tiniest opening for you just to go from out and back in straight away. So I do that. The guy sped up and actually turned into me.
Cross lanes. So
He
it goes 2 lanes so you can overtake.
Yeah.
He went to go speed up, and the guy actually merges into us. And he can see that our lane turns into a dead end. He merges into us to block us. He
So-
merges into our lane.
I have road rage. I'll admit that. I forgot about him completely. I started braking. I started beeping. I started swearing. I did everything I could.
What's this guy going to be like on Sunday?
Oh, bro, I'll be calm. I'm being the
If we don't let him out,
S15. I'll be happy. But I was so mad, and the guys called me a fuckwit, all that. I'm like, look at my fucking cousin, his leg's broken. Move the fuck out of the way. The guy's like, I don't give a shit. I'm like, no one gives a shit about you. I drove off, dropped him off to the hospital. We chilled. They pumped him for drugs. He was happy.
I was inside the waiting room for about 8 hours, and once I got in, I met this Asian doctor, and this guy, he just grabbed my leg. He goes to my brother. My brother's there. Right, he's looking. He goes, look, this is the problem. And he grabs my leg and straightens it out. And I'm sitting there like trying not to scream in pain. Sure, they've pumped me full of meds, but it still hurts heavily.
Yeah.
And in the end, I was inside there with the doctor for about 20 minutes. He gave me like this brace thing, crutches. He's like, here, have this. That's it.
See ya.
Yeah, that's it. And then that night, I went home, I packed a shisha, and I went to my mate's birthday party.
Nice.
Yep.
So I left him at the
Asian
hospital.
doctors ain't just like tough love. It's just, hey,
Mind you,
get back out there.
That's it.
when we got to the hospital, I blocked off the emergency exit. I blocked off everything. I told him, do not get out of the car. Because if you get out of that car, you're going to be in there for hours just waiting to see a doctor. He's like, nah. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Just do what I say for once. I go in, and the lady's like, can he walk? I'm like, no, he can't walk. He's in so much pain. He's stuck in my car. She's like, okay, we'll get him a wheelchair quickly. They come out with a wheelchair. Walks in is him, just like hopping into the hospital entry to talk to the doctor. And they're like, oh, he can walk. I'm like, oh my God, it's a miracle. He's still in pain, but it's a miracle. And they're like, okay, have a seat. I'm like, fuck, that's it. Hour go by, 2 hours go by, and my dad calls me. He's like, come back, you gotta finish work. I'm like, okay. I left him with his brother. I go back, and I had to drive his car home.
Oh.
I'm still on my P's. At that time, I just got my license back too. So I'm driving it. I'm driving behind I'm like, Dad, follow me behind me. Okay, I lost my dad for a second. So you know what you do when you're on a car cruise. If you lose someone, you pull over to the side. So that's what I did. My dad sees me, speeds by in my ute, and he calls me up. He's like, what the fuck do you stop? Just go home, bro. I'm like, Dad, the car's not legal, and this is not for me to drive. He's like, I don't care. Just go home. Okay, I'm driving this car. I'm trying to figure out how to pump his fucking bags. Cups.
Yeah, activate the air cups.
Yeah.
My car is a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know how to use. There's a specific way to start it. You got to put the steering wheel on. There's a specific way for that.
Yeah. You better make sure you start it before you even touch the air cups.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff.
So it's nighttime, and I don't know how to pop up his headlights. So I'm just driving in the dark. I'm like, fuck, this is bad. Hey.
He's going through Dural area.
Yeah, Dural area. It's like
real
high
dark.
end, but like a lot of cops hide there. So I'm like, I'm gonna lose my license again. And that's it. But I didn't. I got home safe and went to a party in the city. I get a notification. He's there he forced his brother to grab his car and take it home. Remember?
So my brother at the time had a Suzuki Jimny as a company car.
Mad.
So what he did is he left my car at his house.
Hey,
My
it's
brother.
better.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My brother drove my 180 back to my house, and I drove the Jimny. We got back, and we realized that my actual house keys are actually at his house in the garage. So we had to drive the Jimny back all the way, open up his garage, grab my house keys, then drive back again. And then I finally got my shisha, went to the birthday party. And that was that night. Yeah, I did end up driving that night. They told me I shouldn't drive. I ended up driving my Lancer. So that was automatic, so that's not a problem. Now, 1 week later was my birthday party. I spent my birthday party heavily medicated in a wheelchair, drinking. You can imagine how that turned out.
We legit, like, I helped him set up I didn't help him. I helped his mom do it. And we legit just, no one's came. It's 10 o'clock. Everyone's coming at like 12 work time. Like we say lunchtime, they come at 2 or 1. So from 10 o'clock a.m., we blocked him off at the end of his garage. So he can't come in. If he needs to pee, we told him pee in the bottle.
I'm stuck there in the back of the garage, tables and chairs around me. I can't get out. That's it.
It's the funniest time.
And then a week later, you forced me to go to a car meet. And I'm like, no, bro, I can't. I'm in a
See you
wheelchair.
later.
Yeah, he rocks up to my house out of the blue in an S15 and he goes, you're going to the fucking car meet. Regardless, you're coming.
Nah.
I'm like, I can't, bro. I'm in a wheelchair and I have crutches. I'm not going. Because you're going. He ends up rocking up to my house. Okay, fuck it. I'll try to go. I pack my shisha with me, bring everything along, and then...
While he does that, me and his mom is stuffing his wheelchair in the back seat.
Keep in mind, he's got the subwoofer in the back. So we can't even fit it in the trunk.
Yeah.
And we can't even fit the wheelchair in the back seats. So what we end up doing is we grabbed the crutches. The crutches didn't fit in the trunk. We stuck them at the window while he was driving. Because we had nowhere else to put them. They didn't fit anywhere else. Rocked up to the car meet, had a good time, but never again.
Yeah,
Yes.
never. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
It's a fun time. Love car meets. But too much pain.
Yeah.
So now we get to the point where I lost my license. So, how I started this? I was on a date. First date. Actually, let me take you back even more. My mom, every year my mom leaves to Egypt. Takes care of my grandma over there. Okay? Right before she left for the airport, same day, she's like, Brendan, please, no tickets. You can't afford it anymore. Brendan, please, no accident. Don't drive the car. Please, at night, be very careful. I'm like, okay, Mom, I will.
I wish I had that.
He was not careful.
I took the car straight away.
Yeah.
Okay, my dad's a G. He lets me. I'm still curfew at the time, so he let me take the car out. Went, had a beautiful dinner, this and that. Dropped her off. I have a curfew at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to start parking this car at like 9:50.
Yeah.
It's 9:40. It's like what, a 20-minute drive?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going up this hill. It's from Willow Park to Blacktown, we'll say. Mind you, the whole day I've been driving this car because I got my steering wheel properly installed. So when I installed it,
Alignment's a bit
alignment was off, right?
bit wonky.
I've been pulled over 3 times that day. Best part, in the area, the cop's like, I love your car. What did you do to it? I have the exact same car. And shows me photos. Beautiful cops. Shout out to those people.
There are good ones.
Yeah,
believe it
there
or not.
are good ones, but most of the time they're not. I'm telling you now, because I call it the border between the area and Blacktown.
Love it.
So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, you know the exact area, okay? So I'm going up the hill. I look at the time. I'm like, fuck, I'm late. But I know this area always has cops, like usually in the streets. So I'm doing 40 and behind this like patrol, I'm doing 40. And if you know this area, guys, it goes from 2 lanes to 1 lane and then a bunch of roundabouts. If you're stuck behind a truck, you're there for another 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
So I did the thing I did. I decided to drop a gear and send it.
Yep.
I thought that road's at 80, by the way. All my life, I thought it was at 80. I didn't see the highway patrol.
But he saw you.
He saw me. He heard me coming. Got pulled over straight away.
Yeah.
He's like, he yelled on that mic thing of his.
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
Pull over right now. Yeah. So I'm in the middle of the merging lane, pulled over. And he's beeping at me, this and that. I'm like, I'm getting frustrated. I'm pulled over. I'm late. I'm in trouble already. So I yell at him from the back of my car, get the fuck out of your car. What do you want? Stop beeping at me. You already pulled me over. Like, what's the point? He's like, can you go to the roundabout and turn right? I'm like, oh, thank you. So I do that. I'm trying not to pop my car, not letting the turbo go off. So I go. He's like, how fast were you going? I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. Like, I said like 82, like not too much. He's like, okay, read this gun to me. He clocked me doing 146 in a 60.
And you're like, can you tell me that again?
So I'm like, he's like, I got you doing that 3 Ks away. I'm like, how's that possible? 3 Ks away, I'm going up the hill. You can't even see me. He's like, I got you. I'm like, fuck. And then he's the sergeant and all that. And he has this partner. Because he's like, oh, what do you do for work while you're rushing home? And I told him at the time I had 2 jobs. I start at like 3 a.m. and I go to my other job. I finish at like 12 a.m. So I don't get much sleep. He's like, the guy's like, his partner's like, oh, that's okay. Like, I'll try to let you off. Like, he's trying to whisper it to me. Sergeant hears. He's like, the fuck no. He's a walk boy. He deserves what he's getting. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's the real fucking harsh cop talking there.
So
that's an old school.
So this is, mind you, this is the second time I've ever been pulled over in my whole history.
Yeah.
So I'm shaking. I'm losing my license. Who wants to lose their license in the beginning of summer?
Yeah.
So by chance, like, I got out. He's talking to me because I'm like, let me out of the car. I don't want to sit in this car. It's tight. Like, I'm a big boy. So he lets me out. I sign the papers. He's like, by chance, my brother's mate coming back from his date saw me. Chucks a Yui, comes out. He calls my brother. He's on the date. He pulls up. So I sign the papers. My brother pulls up. You had no right to pull him over. He's full yelling at the cop. And the cop's losing it at him. So I'm like, I don't want my brother to get arrested. So I'm in between a cop and my brother. Like, relax. Then he wants to defect me. I'm like, nah, you took my license. That's it. Like, what else you want? I got a $1,000 fine. He took my license for 6 months, police suspension. At the day I got my license back, mind you, my brother drove me home. My dad was waiting in that garage. The most scariest moment, because I saw the lights on, but the garage was closed. As soon as my brother opened that garage, it was like a movie scene. Because the garage was opening up, he's just standing
It's just
there.
a rock standing behind that fucking garage door.
I'm like, that's it, I'm gone. The cop's not that bad anymore. Like, when it comes to a walk parent, that's when you know you're done.
Yeah.
So I lost it for 6 months with the police. The day I got my license back, I got a letter saying the next day I'll lose it for another 6 months.
Because he got the originally got the cop issued suspension,
Yep.
and then you got the RMS issued suspension.
Yeah.
So
It's never just one fine, is it? It's never. Anyway, boys, not to finish on a sour note, we're going to finish on a positive note. You're both here. We're both still keeping on in cars.
We're all still got our licenses.
We've all still got our licenses. As of right now, we all have our licenses together. We're still building, we're still making the dream come to life. And I think that actually says something a lot about every single person's constitution right here. Yeah. That really says something to me in the statement of cars, because it's quite heartbreaking doing so much to a car, spending so much time, so much money, so much effort, so much blood, so many tears. But at the end of the day, the memories and everything that it brings you, I think, is well worth it. And it's 100%. Something that, honestly, I'm hoping we are sitting down and having this chat 2 decades from now, doing the same shit, laughing about the same things.
Next time we're on this, we're going to have George Andrew with us because of his car. Okay. Hopefully.
Okay. Dan, what time are we on?
2:47.
2:47. It might be the longest podcast we've ever done, but
maybe.
We'll smash it out in 2 parts.
Boys, thank you so much. Tim, Brendan, man, you guys have been a fucking pleasure, and I appreciate your stories.
No, thank you for
Thank you very
having
much
us,
for coming on
actually.
board.
Thank you.
Yeah. How can people find you?
Instagram 180FSX.
Instagram, TikTok, buy 200. Simple as that.
Yeah, nice.
Well, people listening, there you go. Follow these 2 legends. Red cars go faster.
Vroom vroom.
Let's go.
I'm painting the MX-5 red.
No. And on that note, we'll wrap up the potty again. Thank you everyone for listening and made it to the end. Hope you liked it. Until next time.
If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe.
Like, subscribe,
He's got
follow.
it.
Bro, this guy's got
If you're on any podcast listening app, Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever it is, you better give them a good rating, boys. 'Cause we'll be coming for you.
He's got the outro. There we go. And on that note, thank you guys. Until next time.
Thank you,
See
guys.
you later.
Bye.